Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Sania and today we are gonna learn life process part 2, that is respiration. In our last video we learned about nutrition. Now let's learn about our second process, that is respiration. The process by which a living being utilizes food to get energy is called respiration. What is epiglottis? Epiglottis is the lid located behind the tongue at the top of sound box. Sound box is also known as larynx. Respiration involves two processes. First is breathing and second is cellular respiration. What is breathing? Intake of oxygen and outtake of carbon dioxide is known as breathing. What is cellular respiration? Oxidation of food takes place to produce energy in form of ATP is called cellular respiration. Now let's learn about these processes in detail. C6H12O6, that is glucose plus oxygen, gives carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. It is cellular respiration. Inhale is intake of oxygen. In inhale, diaphragm becomes flat, and exhale is outtake of carbon dioxide. In this process, diaphragm becomes curved. What are types of respiration? Aerobic and anaerobic. What is aerobic? Respiration in presence of oxygen is aerobic, and anaerobic is respiration in absence of oxygen. It's divided into two parts, A. in absence of O2 and B. lack of O2. Now, this is a diagram of human trachea and lungs. Trachea consists of cartilage rings, as you can see there, and lungs consist of bronchioles, alveoli and bronchi. In alveoli of lungs there is O2 stored. Now let's learn about human respiratory tract in detail. So, human respiratory tract follow the following path, that is from nostrils to hair, hair to nasal part to trachea, from trachea to bronchi, bronchi to bronchioles, and from bronchioles to alveoli. This is the process or path of human respiratory path. Now, trachea consists of cartilage ring which helps them to avoid collapsing. Good alveoli must have very thin wall to increase the rate of diffusion of O2. Alveoli are balloon-like structures which stores O2, that is oxygen. Now, let us learn about respiration in plants. Many of us didn't know that plants also need oxygen for their respiration. Now, from where do plants get oxygen from? They get oxygen from stomata and lenticels. Stomata is in leaves and lenticels are there in stems. Now it's our third process, circulation or transportation. Let's learn about human heart. Human heart consists of right atricle, right ventricle, left atricle and left ventricle. Oxygenated blood is carried from the body parts to left ventricle by aorta. There are tricuspid and bicuspid valves in the human heart. Vena cava, which is the largest vein of our body. Pulmonary vein carries oxygenated blood from lungs to left atricle. As we know that pulmonary vein is the only vein that carries oxygenated blood. Pulmonary artery is also the only one artery which carries deoxygenated blood. This is the diagram of human heart. It's very important. Now let's learn about transportation. We have two types of transportation. One is blood circulatory system and lymphatic system. Blood circulatory system. Blood consists of plasma and blood cells. Plasma contains water and protein. Blood cells are of three types. They are RBC or erythrocytes, WBC or leukocytes and platelets or thrombocytes. These are the three types of blood cells present in our body. Let's learn about these cells in detail. Lifespan of RBC is 120 days and WBC is 5 hours to 5 days. Color. RBC has red color due to hemoglobin and WBC is colorless. Now, what is the function of RBC? RBC transports oxygen, WBC germs, and thus is known as the soldier of the body. Let's learn about platelets. Platelets help in blood clotting with the help of sodium and potassium. They are colorless. What is double circulation? In double circulation, blood comes into heart twice in one cardiac cycle. It involves pulmonary circulation and systematic circulation. Pulmonary circulation. It carries deoxygenated blood to lungs, then oxygenated blood back to the heart. Systematic circulation. It carries oxygenated blood from aorta to tissue. What are the components of blood circulation? There are 4 components: heart, arteries, veins, and capillaries. Let's learn about all 4 of them in detail. Heart. Heart is 4-chambered. It's composed of cardiac muscles. Arteries. They have thick walls because of high blood pressure. This is very important. Pulmonary arteries carries deoxygenated blood. As I said before, veins. They have thin walls because of low blood pressure. Pulmonary vein carries oxygenated blood. Capillaries. They are a network of artery and veins. They have single-celled walls. Blood pressure of human: 80 to 120 mmHg. mmHg is the unit of blood pressure. Pulse rate. It's rhythmic contraction and relaxation of artery. It's 72 times per minute for a normal person. Now, let's learn about lymphatic system. Lymph. Lymph is a yellowish liquid. It's similar to blood, but RBC is absent in lymph. It's collected in lymph vessels. It plays an important system in immune system. It has less protein than blood. It flows from tissue to heart. Now, let's learn about transport of water in plants, that is transpiration. It's carried out by xylem, which is also known as dead tissue. No energy is required for water transplant because it's carried due to suction pressure, a phenomenon known as action of sap. Action of sap is the upward movement of water and minerals from root to different parts of the plant. Transport of food in plants, that is translocation, is carried out by phloem, which is living cell. Energy, which is in the form of ATP, is required for the transport of food in plants. So guys, that was all for my today's video. Hope you enjoyed watching it. In our next video, we'll learn about our third part of our chapter, life processes, that is excretion. It's also the last part of our chapter. So please make sure that you subscribe to my channel, like my video and share my video. Meet you in next time. Till then, take care and bye bye.